Hey everyone! We're doing another ACOTAR miniseries. Today is the one with the Night Court Inner Circle and their secrets. So if you have not read ACOTAR, I would suggest waiting a little bit to listen. But if you don't care, you are very welcome to listen to us. Hey book babes! Welcome back to Two Girls, One TBR. Your chaotic book besties here to wreck your reading list. One morally gray man at a time. I'm Rebecca, still deep in my villain era, living for dark, spicy reads, plotting alongside the Night Court's power players. Find me at Azriel Reads on Instagram.
And I'm Chelsea, still re-listening to ACOTAR with graphic audio, getting wrapped up in beta reads and reading for fun as much as I can. Follow my chaos at Chelsea and Chapters on Instagram.
So, girl, what are you reading right now? I'm still in the middle of Eldridge because I've been so busy these last 2 weeks. I've only been able to read so much, but it is so good.
That's that one that just came out, right?
Correct.
And she was having
Absolutely
Mine
amazing.
is
Oh.
Hail Macy. Yes, and it's pretty darn good so far. It's a lot of hate sex in here.
Now, is it like a romance? It's not like a
It is.
romantasy. It's romance.
It's romance. Yeah, just straight romance, contemporary. They're both coaches. Well, like he's the main coach, the head coach of the football team, and then she gets brought on because she knows the game. And so that causes a whole bunch of drama, and it's really good.
Fantastic.
Yeah,
I know you do like your romance.
I do. I do like my contemporary romance in between.
I'm still stuck with my villains right now. But hey, now, since the last time you and I talked, we kind of went over and we discovered a few things. Each episode we talk about different things. And then, of course, we put our different clips out on Instagram and on TikTok and on YouTube. And we do get little comments back and we check things as we talk. But one thing we did find out is Tamlin's father gave his mother the flower garden as a gift for their mating bond or their wedding. It was one or the other. So
yeah,
there's that. Tamlin was the youngest of 3 sons because we couldn't remember how many brothers he had. Tamlin was also a child when Amarantha started pursuing him. She's really gross.
yeah, because he was young when she set her sights on him.
Yeah, she's gross. We don't like her. Let's see here. Then the part that we got confused with was when everybody got killed, in the book. Now, Tamlin's father decided, or he was upset because he felt that Rhys was going to be the most powerful. He could already sense it, that he was going to be the most powerful High Lord. So for some reason, he went in and he had Rhys's sister and his mother both unalived, removed their heads, put them in boxes, and sent them down the river. And then he took their wings and he pinned them up in his den. Tamlin's dad had to be absolutely horrible.
Yeah.
So then once that happened, Rhys and his father, they winnowed into Spring Court. Rhys held Tamlin's brother's mind and kind of, mushed it, unalived them. And then by the time he got to Tamlin's father's bedroom, Rhys's father had unalived Tamlin's mother and his dad. Rhys argued with his dad because he didn't want him to unalive the mom because I guess she had no part of this, or he must have liked her or whatnot.
Yeah. Well, they had I remember that just came up in the second book. And they had said that Rhys's dad told Rhys, "We are not the kind of males that are going to do that to a female like they did to your mother and sister." And so Rhys got pissed because he was like, "We just said we weren't going to do that, and then you just did that."
So he must have been just in such a rage, is my guess.
Right.
And then while they are arguing, Tamlin comes out of his bedroom, and then he unalives Rhys's father. And then at that moment, because both High Lords are no longer with us, that is when Rhys and Tamlin both got their powers.
Right. Then we discussed how, so before we thought Rhys had been High Lord longer, but they really became High Lord at the same time. It's just that Rhys had been preparing for it basically since his birth, since he was the only male in his familial line, whereas Tamlin never wanted anything to do with it and was the youngest son. So that's why Tamlin is considered a young High Lord.
And then now Rhysand's parents were actually, we know 100% they were mates. His father married his mother's Illyrian seamstress. So she was a seamstress to his mom. So that's why she made all of what's her face there? Feyre's dresses. I had to think of her.
Yes.
What's her face? All of Feyre's beautiful gowns. But they said that he ended up having to protect her because of her wings at the war camp, and that was when their mating bond snapped into place and they had their union. Now, I'm going to tell you something here. Prepare yourself, okay? Now, this is a theory. Now, I'm not saying this is my theory or your theory, but this is something that's out on the internet. What if Lucien is Gwen's grandfather? Okay, I'm going to put this into perspective. All right, he loved that woman. Her name was it Jasmina? She was a lesser Fae. We all know that. And then Baron had her unalived in front of him. Okay, now, according to Gwen, she said that her grandmother was a river nymph, which would be a lesser Fae. And she seduced a high Fae male from the Autumn Court. Now, Lucien, we know he has been to Sangrava, where Gwen was at, and her mother, because he comments on the carpets in the library at the House of Wind, I believe, and said because of the dyes in the rug are from Sangrava. So what do we think? Do you think it's possible?
Yeah, and then I forget about Gwen's mom, though. Like, why Lucien wouldn't have known that he had a daughter.
Maybe he found out later, and that's why he was at Sangrava. Because if Jasmina was pregnant and gave birth, let's say, because Baron was not happy, he did not want any of his sons with a lesser Fae, because that's kind of, frowned upon. What if she had this baby? Because we do know the mother was left. Autumn Court wouldn't accept her. We know Spring Court wouldn't accept her. So maybe she hid her away at Sangrava, and maybe that's why. So that would make Lucien Gwen's grandfather.
Yeah, I would have thought if Lucien had a kid that Tamlin would have known about it, and that would have been like he would have told Feyre when he was telling Feyre about Lucien's sad story about his
But if it was
lady.
A secret, what if it is a possibility that Lucien has no idea, though?
Yeah. Then I don't know where, because I know that the Sangrava thing kind of backs up the theory, but then it's like once you take that away.
Well, they said Sangrava is in Autumn Court, or it's like right on the border of Spring Court and Autumn Court, but I believe it's part of Autumn Court. So now they said that if Lucien is Gwen's grandfather, okay, that would tie her both to the Autumn Court and Day Court, because remember, Lucien's father is Helion. Right. That might explain her unusual magic strength, her resilience, that traits that echo Lucien's own.
Yeah, it's fun.
Is it possible?
I think it's fun.
Is it possible? Think about it. Lucien could be her grandfather.
Yeah, well, and she has red hair.
And Tamlin could be her father.
Now, see, so that's where I still can't with Tamlin being her father.
It's always possible.
That one, I know, that one still doesn't add up for me. It's too messy, too much.
No, it might be, maybe that'll bring them together, because then they have Gwen as a common relative with them. It'll bring Lucien and him back together as friends.
Yeah, I like the theory that Gwen, I still like the theory that she's Tamlin's daughter, only because then she could take over the Spring Court if something happens to him and he goes off the deep end.
Well, he's definitely off the deep end at the moment.
Yeah, he is.
Well, at least to the last that we all know. I'm still so excited for the next book to come out.
So I just finished A Court of Mist and Fury, where Feyre goes back with Tamlin after she tells him, if you take me away from my mate, I'm going to bring you down. And then she pretends that she breaks the bond, and it's right at the end there. And it's like, no, I remember the first time when I read it, I was so mad because I thought they really did break the mating bond. So good. So good.
I think out of the entire series, I love every single book, but I think Court of Mist and Fury is the absolute best. I think it's the best one out of the entire series because it has such amazing moments in it.
Yeah.
I love
Did
that
we
one.
already talk about, we've already talked about the Lucien and Elaine mating bond, right? That,
Yes.
okay, so so I wanted to talk about that one again,
Okay.
to bring it back up, because I re-listened to that part where Elaine comes out of the cauldron,
Okay.
and there was nothing that gave me Tamlin as her mate vibes whatsoever. So I don't think is shapeshifted as Tamlin. I think that theory is like out.
I strongly feel because of how Nesta is, glamours don't work. Because someone made the suggestion, this was on TikTok. They said, but he wouldn't be glamored, he would been shapeshifted into it. But
Right.
I understand he shapeshifts, but I don't think he can shapeshift into a person. I think it's only
Yeah.
beast form.
And even if he can, it just like, it doesn't make sense that he goes back to the spring court with Feyre. He growls at Lucien when he's trying to ask Feyre questions about her time in the night court. So it's just like, when you kind of like go back and read it or listen to it again, it's kind of like, no, I can't see it. Like there's no way that Sarah J. Maas was like, that Lucien was acting as I don't know. It just doesn't make any sense.
Do you think now, after listening to, re-listening and listening to all that, do you think Lucien is her mate?
Yes.
Do you think she just hasn't accepted it yet?
Right.
But she hasn't denied it. She hasn't said no, Lucien.
Yeah,
no.
she's biding her time. But there was a part when so like Lucien tries to lunge for Elaine after, when the guards are laughing because they can see her breasts basically through her nightgown because she's all soaked. And so Lucian's like, don't just leave her there. And the King of Hybern lets him go of like the tether that he has on him. And Lucien runs over and covers her with like his cloak or whatever it is. And then when Elaine finally lifts her head from being after being released from the cauldron and Lucian's helping her, her eyes are locked with Lucian's. And that's when he says, "You're my mate." But I think the whole fact that Elaine had her eyes locked on him, she wasn't looking at anybody else in the room. And her eyes were locked on him when he said, "You're my mate," or "She's my mate."
Yes, it probably would be a shock, really. You come out of the cauldron and a man that you've never, because had she met Lucien? I don't think she had met him.
No.
So she had never met him. And then all of a sudden he's like, "Hey, you're my mate."
Yeah.
I guess, it would be a shocking thing. But Lucien is good looking. She should be excited.
She definitely should be excited.
With his wild eye. Oh, also, remember we were talking about his eye? Because remember, Amarantha, I believe, is who tore his eye out. And then Tamlin took him somewhere. And I don't remember which court it was. And then he had that magical eye thing made for him so he could see again.
Yeah. I don't remember. I don't think I've gotten to that part in the re-listen yet. Because I feel like they talk about it later on. Yeah.
I don't know. For some reason, I was thinking they talked about it in this one, but I don't know. We'll have to look that up.
Maybe I didn't. Yeah, but we will have to look at that one.
We'll have to look up. But I remember it was because that's why Lucien, or maybe it's in the third book, because when he's talking to Feyre, and he's maybe telling her that Tamlin did. But I know Tamlin did that for him.
Yes.
I remember that part.
Yeah. Well, and part of it was because he was being punished for Tamlin. So.
Well, that is true. That is true. Because Tamlin's like, "Amarantha, I am not taking you. Yeah. I don't want to be your consort." Isn't that the word that they used for it?
Yeah, consort.
Yes.
Yeah.
She's still gross. I'm so glad she's dead. And I'm so glad that Tamlin, and didn't he like rip her jaw off or something? It was something real graphic when they talked about it.
She deserved it.
She did deserve it.
Yeah.
Also, now we were talking also kind of just a little bit, we were trying to gauge everybody's ages or whatever. Tamlin, from what I gather, was 507 in the first book. Lucien is younger. Lucian's only about 450. He's such a baby.
Yeah.
But they said he was born around the time after the First War.
Okay.
And they were saying something now about Eris. That's Lucian's older brother. Now, they said he's around 500. They said, but his exact age isn't confirmed. But what we can piece together, we do know he's the eldest son of Beren. So he is Beren's child. But he was very young. And supposedly, but I don't know, but they said maybe he was 7 or 9 years old when he was betrothed to Mor. So Mor was 17. So when they talk about Mor, when she got thrown, when her dad didn't want her anymore and threw her into the Autumn Court, remember, and he nailed her on that thing.
Yeah.
If he was 7 or 9, what was Eris going to do at that age? But I don't know if that's exact. That's just someone's theory.
Yeah.
But, and we also know that he is, though, a seasoned warrior, and he is a general of the Autumn Court's forces. But there's something more there, but we'll talk about him a little bit later here.
Yeah.
When we talk about Mor.
I love all the theories surrounding Eris and Mor. I think that's going to be a fun topic.
There is a lot of... It's amazing to me how many theories people have on every single one of them.
Yes.
Because it's stuff that I never even thought about when I was reading. So now let's get into what our episode is about today. The first segment we're going to talk about is the guise of the Night Court. Inner Circle. Now, the one we're going to start with is our beloved Rhysand.
Yes.
Now, there are several major theories about him that, again, some of these I had never even crossed my mind. Now, the first one is that he's the evil Rhysand. Now, I don't know if you ever watched Star Trek. Did you ever watch that?
No.
They go into a parallel universe, and Captain Kirk, because now if you saw Captain Kirk and Spock, they're shaved. They don't have a mustache or anything. But when they went into the parallel universe, they had like goatees. It was the parallel universe, even though this isn't a parallel universe, but it makes me laugh because they were the evil Captain Kirk and the evil Spock. So that's how I imagine the evil Rhysand. But some fans speculate that Rhysand may have a hidden agenda and could flip his character entirely. The theory suggests that he might be manipulating the events behind the scenes for his own gain. With his morally gray nature and secretive behavior, does that hint at a deeper, possible sinister motive? I don't know. I think he loves Feyre, but I don't think he would betray his own inner circle. But would he betray the other High Lords? It's very possible for the gain of the Night Court.
Right. And I definitely don't want to undermine like their mating bond, and I think this would actually tie well into our actual episode that we're going to do about like walking red flag book boyfriends.
Yes.
So I'm probably going to bring it up again when we get to that. But I found myself getting kind of upset with Rhys, like when I was doing my re-listen, how he had said like he would always be honest with Feyre. Well, then he like puts her in situations and doesn't tell her the whole truth, right? So then she gets upset with him. And it happens there's a couple different times that it happens. Like starting with the Weaver, I think is one of them.
Oh, yeah, when he puts her in there to go get her ring, and she doesn't know what's going on, and he just drops her, and he stays in the tree, remember? And he just hangs out in a tree, and he thinks it's funny.
He does it when they are at the Archeron, like, manor, when the Adder comes to try to find her, and he says, like, oh, yeah, like, basically, you were out there as bait. Like he knew that somebody was going to come looking for her when she was left alone. And then he kind of does it again when she's pregnant and doesn't tell her about the wings. And so he
is a little secretive. So maybe he is. So maybe that theory holds a little bit more weight.
Yeah.
Maybe
he is a little red flaggish.
Well, he's definitely red flaggish, but I still love him.
Absolutely.
Now you have read Throne of Glass, so this one might speak more to you than it does to me since I haven't read it yet. But they said that Rhysand could be a descendant. Is it Maeve?
Maeve. I said Maeve when I was reading it. Yeah.
They said this would be a wild crossover theory that would connect ACOTAR to Throne of Glass. Rhysand may be a descendant of Maeve. Wait, did you say Maeve? Is that what you said?
Mm-hmm.
Maeve, yeah. The Vaal Queen. Again, I mispronounce everybody's names. Mm-hmm. But this is based on similarities in their powers and their demeanors, and the possibility that Rhys helped Aelin during the fall between the worlds in the Kingdom of Ash. If true, it could open a door for more crossover series interactions and reintroduce beloved Throne of Glass characters.
I mean, I like the theory that I think that the Valg are going to be the same thing as basically like the Asteri that are in Crescent City, and then ACOTAR. I don't think we've really gotten into much of like a Valg Asteri type threat yet, which I think might be coming. But I don't think he's descended from Maeve, because she basically went in, like, she has been in Throne of Glass in that world for so long, and she manipulated people's memories. So whereas her two sisters that she had, she was not actually their sister, but she manipulated people's minds to think that she was their sister. Yeah.
But now people do say, because doesn't she have violet eyes and Rhysand has violet eyes?
That one I don't remember.
Because I think someone said that.
That one I want to see receipts. I'll have to go back.
Well, I'll have to go and look. Now, the next thing now with Rhys, they said it's a connection to Hell and the Asteri that you just mentioned.
So I like that he might be a descendant of Hell, which are like the dark. Those are like the dark. I don't know what they are, but they're kind of like in their own realm. So I do like that one.
Well, if it's Hell, is it kind of like devil kind of thing?
Kind of,
demon kind of thing?
Yeah, they're kind of demony, like night courty. Like that's where that one does
he
make
matches.
Sense.
I mean, he does match. He has that whole darkness about him. So, I mean, that could make sense.
Yeah.
Well, they said with the expansion of the Massverse in Crescent City, fans theorized that Rhysand may have ties to Hell, one of the realms mentioned in the House of Flame and Shadow. Again, I haven't read it. They're sitting on my shelf. But they said his heritage could link him to other powerful beings like Rune.
Yes.
I love it when they do the whole little thing where you see the picture of him. If you look on Instagram, we're like, is it Rune Dannon, Crown Prince of the Velbarin Fae? And it does that whole thing. I don't know what any of that means, but I love seeing that.
Yeah.
He's good. He's good
and
looking
Rune,
too.
he has the purple eyes. So there's a part where Bryce sees Rhysand and she's like, Rune? Like she thinks it's him for a second because they're so similar.
Well, they also said, or Dorian, they said too.
Dorian too, yeah.
And they said these connections might explain his immense power and knowledge of the interrealm dynamics.
Yeah, I like those theories.
So that's an interesting one.
Princes of Hell, like the Rune, Dorian, like them all descending or ascending, descending, whatever, from that lineage. That's a good one. I like it.
Interesting. I have to, once I get done with Eldritch Hair, maybe I'll read Crescent City next.
You must. You must.
I have to read it. I have it. I bought it because it was on sale on Amazon, and I got all 3 of them for like $30. That's not a bad price. No. I know. I was excited. Awesome. So I do have them. They're on my Sarah shelf. All my books that she does, I have all on one shelf.
And you'll like those because they have smut.
I love my smut. You know that. I seen yesterday, I was looking, it was somebody I follow on Instagram, and they have decided they are no longer going to read smut. And I'm like, okay. And they were only going to give closed door information. I was like, well, we don't connect anymore. It was somebody I don't talk to anyways. And I was like, she doesn't want to see what I'm doing.
Yeah.
I don't want to see what she's doing. I have to have my smut.
Yeah, it is.
That's my whole purpose. It is what it is.
It's my purpose in life.
It's my purpose in life at this point. At my age, I can read as much fairy smut as I want. It's going to be one of those little things where it's going to be a picture of Jesus, and he's going to be peeking around the corner asking me, what am I doing? You know?
Yeah. I love those ones.
Oh, I know. Now, the next one is, now, Rhysand as the master manipulator. So that kind of ties in back to the first thing we were talking about. But this theory doesn't paint him as evil, but rather as a strategic mastermind, which I do believe he is.
Yeah.
He's always several steps ahead, orchestrating events to protect Prythian. His secrecy and control over information suggests he's playing for the long game, not, right now. Some fans admire this trait, but others worry that it could be betrayal.
Yeah. And that's especially prevalent at the end of Mist and Fury and the beginning of ACOTAR, because it's like, even though it seems like he's always several steps ahead, it also felt like a lot got effed up, like them going into Hybern and getting caught by the King of Hybern. But then it's like, wait a second, can we twist that and say Rhys knew that was going to happen and it had to happen?
Maybe it's how everything had to play out.
Yeah. But it feels a lot just like mistakes.
Could be. It could be too. Now this is the other thing that these are like little things, because those were like the major theories. But people said there's things that are interesting about him. That he's a collector of ancient magic artifacts. Fans have speculation that Rhysand collects or seeks magical artifacts to protect Prythian or amplify his powers, because he's already insanely powerful, but by doing all these different things, maybe it's making him even more. This could be a connection to the cauldron. There's a theory that Rhysand's immense powers are tied to the cauldron somehow, perhaps marking him as a potential chosen one or someone the gods themselves favor.
Yeah, I could see
it. It's very interesting. Because see, some of that kind of ties in kind of with Mor's, her father and them, because remember they had the Ouroboros, that big mirror. They had it. Those are ancient artifacts.
They had the orb, that truth-telling orb thing that they showed the queens. Yeah.
There's something there, and that's all in the same court.
Yeah.
So there's something.
Yeah, and then finding all those things that Nesta had, like the crown or the diadem, whatever they call it, the mask.
Was there a harp? Was one of them harp?
Harp.
The mask, and then the crown.
Yeah.
I think that, and then they said there was a fourth thing. Yeah, I think it was, but that was lost to time or something. There was something with that, but that'll be when you get to the fifth book. You'll have to see. I could swear there was a fourth one, but it wasn't in our world or something anymore.
Yeah, and some of those are in Crescent City too.
So there's the crossovers.
Yes.
Then they also said that he could possibly have a hidden death god connection. Some theories link him to ancient deities of death or shadow magic. He could be a secret heir or prophecy role. He could unlock an unknown High Lord's power or fulfill an undisclosed prophecies. There's that. Of course, political manipulator. His charm, his influence could be used to control alliances, betrayals, and negotiations. It could be protective because he wants to shield his inner circle from unseen threats and calculated risks. But like you said, what he did, a lot of it is a calculated risk, and they didn't go well. So that could play into that.
Yeah.
But remember this, now all the High Lords brought him back from death. Remember, because he died. So does he have all the powers now from all of the other High Lords, just like Feyre?
Yeah, and we haven't seen that yet because that happened at the end of ACOTAR.
Correct.
And then we had our little Christmas special. And then Silver Flames, when it's really not, Rhys and Feyre were not the main focus in those books. So there could be some stuff that we're waiting to find out about Rhys.
Because I thought about that, because he died and they brought him back just the exact same way they brought Feyre back. So does he have that little bit of whatever, just like how she does? I don't know. It's interesting.
And then I forget too, when they do that High Lord meeting when in ACOTAR, doesn't Feyre exhibit some of her powers? Like, do the High Lords know that she has some of their power yet, or no?
Well, I know Rhys wanted her to keep it hidden.
Yeah.
Or maybe it was Tamlin wanted her to keep it hidden. And
At least
no. It had to be Rhys, because I don't think Tamlin realized that she had all this, and they didn't want him to know.
They didn't want the other High Lords knowing for sure, because then they could try to harm her.
Right. So, but I don't remember, because that's during Tamlin's little speech he says about her, the sound she makes. Mm-hmm. Is that one? Yeah. Is that the one you're talking?
It could be. Yeah. I think at that meeting, I can't remember if it gets released or not that she has all those powers. So if anybody remembers, let us know in the comments section so that we can look that up, or when I get to it.
Yeah, because I don't remember 100%. I know, but I remember they didn't want them to know 100% that she could do all this stuff, because it could make the other courts want to come after her. So I do remember that. Now, the other thing is just a little tidbit on Rhysand. They said he was 28 years old when he fought in the war between the humans and the Fae. So that was 500 years before A Court of Thorns and Roses. So it had been 500 years. High Fae aged slowly after reaching maturity. So they figure this is what the internet says. They said he was 536 in ACOTAR. In ACOTAR, he was 36 536, 537. And then by the time we get to the Court of Silver Flames, he was 537 to 538. And of course, remember, Feyre was 19 to 22.
Yeah. Yep.
These 500-year-old Fae. Damn it. Why didn't they come and find me when I was 18, 19?
Stick me in the cauldron. I'm willing.
I'm willing to. But now they said the other thing. Now, this is Rhysand's role in the 6th ACOTAR book. There's speculation. Will he take a back seat to new characters? Like, is it going to be about Azriel or Elaine? Is it going to be their book?
What do you think?
I don't know if it's going to be them. I don't know if it's going to be their book. Because the first 3 books were all Feyre. And then I wonder, is the next 3 books going to be all like Nesta's trilogy? Do you know what I mean? And then the next 3, is it going to be Elaine's trilogy, or is she going to mix them? I don't know. Because the first 3 were all Feyre's.
Remember if there is an exact number that she has signed on for with the publishers?
Well, I was watching her talk to Jenna Bush on the Today Show. And she was doing an interview in that, and she said she had a ton of different books because it was supposed to be only a trilogy, if I remember right. And then she got signed on for 3 more books, and she said it could go on forever. She said she has all kinds of things in her mind. Okay. So I think there's going to be quite a few of these. Yeah. Okay. But this is the longest gap, though, she's ever gone between books. But, of course, she has little kids and stuff now, so that's probably plays a part.
And she broke it apart and started Crescent City. So, because that came out during this while we've been waiting for the next ACOTAR.
Okay. So yeah. There's something with that. Then they said it could be his past or his lineage. Maybe that will come more central to the story. Or might his decisions in previous books return to haunt him? I don't know. Yeah. But no matter what, we still love Rhysand.
Yes, we do.
Unless he does something really bad in the next book that makes us hate him. And then will he be on a redemption arc like Tamlin, since you want to save him?
Let's hope not, because I have Ramiel on my forearm tattooed in. So it would be great if we did not hate Rhys and the Night Court at the end of this.
Now, the next one we're going to talk about now, the one that I love the most. If I had to pick, well, I don't know. But if I had to pick between the 3, though, I still love this one, is Mr. Cassian.
Wow.
I love him. He's my favorite.
That was a big declaration there to say that Cassian's your favorite.
He's my favorite. I think it's because I like how he is. I like his humor that he has about him. And I like a big, broody man. Because Rhysand seems more polished. Do you know what I mean? A pretty boy kind of thing.
It just surprises me with you because you're so deep into the villain era. And Cassian, to me, is more like golden retriever cinnamon roll.
I think it's just how he looks. I think or how he's presented. Everybody's fan art are, again, our friend Anem, Twisted Dreamland. She does amazing artwork for all the different books that we read. She has made him so delicious. She's made Azriel delicious too, though. I don't know. But at this moment, I'm going to say Cassian's my favorite.
See, I love Cassian too. And I think out of all the Bat Boys, I can see my husband the most in Cassian. So, he might be, he might be your favorite too. Yeah. Subconsciously. Because I still love Rhys.
Oh, I love him too. He's just, in my mind, he's just a little too polished.
Yeah.
He's a little too refined for me. I need someone that's a little rougher around the edges.
A little more rugged.
Because even though he does get dirty and he does a lot of stuff, I just remember he would pick the lint off his out. So he was just a little too refined. Yeah. But now, and this is what gets me, though, with my poor Cassian. Now, this is a theory. Cassian's death was foreseen by Elaine. Now, in ACOTAR, Elaine tells Cassian, no, it will not, when he says it'll take more than a torn wing to kill him. What did she see?
Yeah, well, and we I think we discussed that before too, because we said, like, did that her foreseeing that, was that fulfilled with the war with Hybern, or did she see something further in the future that is again going to bring him down?
I don't know.
Yeah.
Well, they
And
said since
because you know what? I think we forgot too that Hybern, he when they're stuck at the castle when they went in to try to get the cauldron, Cassian's wings were injured there too. Because
I thought it
Azriel
was
got
because
hit
Azriel
through
had
the
it.
chest in
Okay,
his
with an ash
chest.
arrow.
Yeah,
Okay, and then his wings got it again too.
and Cassian's wings. So this would now be the second time. So in the war would be the second time that his wings got torn up.
Well, let's hope there's not a third time. 3 times you're out.
That's what
So
I'm
let's hope
saying. So
let's
hopefully, yeah,
not.
it's
Well, they said
awful.
since, but you have to remember everything with the future though. It's the future is always changing. Because it always depends on you know, what everyone does, because it can
Hmm.
alter the timeline. Have you
Yeah,
watched with Loki? Did you watch that? Oh, you haven't
no,
watched the new one? You need
no.
to watch it because there's all these timelines and stuff, and it would make sense if you watch it. Because then they have to prune the timeline. But you need to watch it.
Yeah.
But now the other thing is, it says, did she, as a seer, some believe that maybe she did, see his death in the future. But others argue that she herself, Elaine, altered fate by intervening and stabbing the king of Hybern to save him. Because maybe she saw what he was going to do. Because
Yeah.
who would ever think that little Elaine, the one that wants to grow flowers, she took
Hmm.
the knife and stuck it in his neck, didn't she?
Loved her
Isn't
for
that what
that.
she
Yeah.
did?
Yeah, she did. Uh-huh.
And I think
Yep.
she removed it.
She took his whole head off. Yeah. Awesome.
Our little sweet little Elaine that
Yes.
likes to grow flowers.
Yeah.
She has a
Yep.
little bit of violence inside her, obviously.
Hmm.
Now,
Yep.
the next thing is he destined for a major sacrifice? Fans speculate Cassian may die protecting Nesta or in the Night Court in a future war, which I don't want to happen. It could be an emotional anchor whose death catalyzes major character growth, or it will fulfill a prophecy or ancient Illyrian legend given his outsider origins and rise to power. I still can't. I don't want my Cassian to die
Yeah.
because that would be.
Yeah.
I hope
It
Sarah
can't
doesn't
happen.
do that. I
Yeah,
hope
it
she
can't
doesn't do
happen.
that to us. That would be absolutely horrible.
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't even want to think about it. And
Right.
then there's the Cassian and Nesta. Their bond is more than mating, than a mate bond. Some theorists believe their connection transcends a typical mating bond. It's cosmic or magical.
Huh. Why?
I don't. Well, it says here it
I know. I
has
want to
something to
find all
do.
the people that come up with these. I want to find all the people that come up with theories and be like, why? Explain yourself.
Well, they said Nesta's death trove powers may be linked to Cassian's survival or his fate. And their relationship could be tested by external forces such as Koshi, or if the Asteri comes into this book.
And there's the people that don't think that Cassian and Nesta are actually mated, but I think we already got confirmation from an interview, or maybe that was Bryce and Hunt.
I think it was Bryce and Hunt from that interview.
Yeah. So then maybe we haven't gotten confirmation from Sarah yet about
I mean,
Cassian and
there's
Nesta.
something happens. I mean, they accept each other. So there's something. We have to read Silver
Yeah.
Flames again.
Yeah.
Back
I
to
want to
when
know
they
why
have that last
people.
moment.
Yeah. I want to know why people think that they're not actually mates.
But she did ask the Cauldron to change Feyre, and she
And
did
herself.
ask herself to have an Illyrian baby. So she wants to have Cassian's babies. So I mean, that's a big thing to ask to change
Right.
your anatomy.
And she clearly didn't do it to Elaine thinking that Elaine would end up with Azriel. It's kind of interesting that she didn't
Yeah, she did
take it
not
that one
change her.
step further just in case.
Yep. So maybe she knows a little bit more than we think she does, because her and
Yeah.
Elaine are close. So maybe there's something with that. Now this is something that is interesting now, because hopefully we'll set aside our poor Cassian dying. But what if Cassian has a hidden lineage? Some wild theories suggest that he may be descended from a powerful Fey line or even a forgotten god. His unmatched battle instincts, and he has the siphons, those masteries, hint at something beyond Illyrian blood. This could explain his ability to command, respect despite being born without a name. Because all those Illyrians, Cassian says something, they listen to him. And then the bone carver, now this is interesting.
I like this one, yeah.
The bone carver had a chilling and evocative way of describing Cassian in the Court of Wings and Ruin, because you're going to be coming up on this book, so you'll see it. He refers to him as the Lord of Bloodshed, the Prince of Bastards. This wasn't just a poetic flair. It reflected Cassian's brutal power and his origins. The bone carver being a death god who appears in a form that resonates with the viewer's deepest desires or fears, seemed to recognize Cassian's immense killing potential and the emotional weight of his heritage.
And I like that one too because of Nesta's history with her mom and grandma trying to line her up to marry up, right? And the fact that Cassian is the Prince of Bastards. She is going to be with a prince after all.
She will be with a prince.
Just like her mother and grandmother wanted.
Exactly. Well, because like they said, maybe the grandmother, if she was a seer like Elaine, she set up all of this to all fall into place because she could foresee it.
Yeah.
So, because we don't know who his father is. All we know is his mom was an Illyrian. We do know that. And remember, they killed her, and I don't think he even knew where they buried her. There was something with that.
Well, he was just found. Wasn't he just like found in the snow?
There was something with that. And he was a little boy. He was only like 8 years old.
Yeah.
Just little.
Poor
but they kept him alive. I guess because he was a boy.
He kept himself alive. Because they had said, like, during all the training, he was just left out just like Azriel. And remember, Rhys brings them into the cabin with his mom, and she gives them a warm bed to stay in. Poor fellas.
I know. They're so mean to these poor little guys. But I mean,
that's what I
very
loved.
brutal.
And that's what I loved about Cassian. I remember when I first read ACOTAR, I almost thought, like, maybe Cassian and Feyre, because they had all those conversations about their childhoods being difficult. And remember Cassian being mad at Nesta for letting Feyre be out on her own. Like, how could you ever let your little sister go out into the snow and hunt? And so I always thought maybe Cassian had a special little place in his heart for Feyre that they were going to turn out together. But no.
Oh, that's an interesting. No.
Yeah.
Well, maybe they have more, it's a bond, like a brother and sister kind of bond.
Yeah.
It's that kind of thing.
Which was sweet.
Things.
Yeah.
Yes.
At first, when I was reading, I was like, maybe she doesn't go for Rhys. And then, it was cute. Then they had that deep friendship and understanding of each other.
Well, isn't it in the little Christmas special? Don't they both drink and they decorate?
Yeah.
Together.
Yeah, so cute. I love it.
So it's really cute.
Yeah.
Again, this is why I love Cassian. So that would be interesting what if all this comes to fruition and he is a prince, like he is whoever his father was somebody much more important than just an average common person.
Yeah.
Because where is all that immense power coming from?
Yeah. And what a huge like ego boost that would be for Cassian to like find out that he's more than he always thought he was.
Well, absolutely. Absolutely. But that little bone carver. So how did he appear to Cassian? I don't remember if Sarah mentions how Cassian seen him. We know how Feyre sees him.
Yeah.
We know what she saw, but I don't know what he saw because he only appears. So who knows what he appeared as?
Yeah.
Because I don't think Cassian liked him.
I'll make a note to put that down when I get to that, if it comes up.
Now, the other thing they said maybe Cassian will cross into other realms. With the Massverse is expanding, fans think it's possible that Cassian might appear in Crescent City or Throne of Glass crossovers. Now, I know Throne of Glass is done. It's a completed series, but they might be pulled, the characters from Throne of Glass with him. There might be a cross in those worlds, maybe in ACOTAR world or Crescent City. His warrior
Well, he already does, because he already does in Crescent City at the end with Nesta
so maybe
and Bryce. Yeah, so I can see that's what I want so badly is for Throne of Glass characters to make a
comeback or
yeah,
an
to have a
appearance.
comeback or an appearance. Yeah, because I miss them so much. So,
Now, they said with his warrior nature, his
mhm,
leadership, it could make him a key player in the interrealm battles, and he could help Bryce or Aelin in future conflicts.
mhm, I
So
can see
there's
it.
that. And
Yeah.
then our little tidbit of Cassian. Cassian's 537 years old in ACOTAR and ACOWAR.
Mhm,
So by the time we get to Silver Flames, he's 538, 539. So he was born during the winter, and he fought in the war against Hybern, and he was 28. So
mhm.
there you go on that one.
Yeah.
That's our little tidbit. Now here comes up our next favorite man that has the largest wingspan.
You know what's funny is that remember when Feyre says it to Rhys when they're flying about the wingspan? He goes, "Oh, we should get the measuring sticks out when we get back." And I hate that we missed. Like I remember seeing somebody do art where they have like these measuring tapes out and them doing, but it
Oh, I
has
think
to
it's
be in a book
hilarious.
somewhere. Like it has to come up again, and Sarah has to write about it because it would be so funny.
Wait, because she said, now I did see the interview with her, and she said that he has the largest wingspan, and
Hmm.
she said he's a freak.
Yeah.
What is our sweet little Azriel doing? Hmm.
And who is he gonna do it with?
Oh, exactly. Oh, I love him. So now Azriel's true mate is Gwen, not Elaine. This theory. The theory is split. It's been split between the fandom. There's people that are team Gwen. There are people on the other side that are team Elaine. But Azriel and Gwen share sword training, healing, trauma healing, and mutual respect. The chemistry is seen as a slow burn romance rooted in emotional growth. Because remember, he's the one that saved her when Hybern attacked Sangrava.
Hmm.
Remember, he carried her
Hmm.
and saved her. But supporters argue that Elaine's bond with Lucian is a canon. And so Azriel and Gwen's is more of an organic thing. So it'll be a
Yeah.
slow burn that will come together.
Also with the mating bond, I find the inconsistency is kind of frustrating. Like with Rhys and Feyre, how like he had the inkling and then right before they left under the mountain, how it snapped into place that he knew she was his mate. And then like with Lucian, like literally right when Elaine comes out of the cauldron, it's, oh, she's my mate. So why is it that some take time? So like if Azriel and Gwen are mates, why has it taken so long for any type of bond? Because he saved her once already. Now they've been doing their little Valkyrie training, and it's still, and his shadows have been singing for her.
Yeah,
So it's like, why has there not been a bond that's snapped into place yet?
has to be maybe there some event has to happen for it to snap into place. Because look at Rhys's dad and his mom. It wasn't until something was going to happen there with her wings, and he saved her at the camp, and they said
Yeah.
that's when the bond snapped into place. But
Yeah, it
maybe
just
they
makes you
have to
wonder,
be.
like, why was Azriel saving her the first time not significant enough? Like that's where the inconsistency with the mating bond that kind of drives me crazy.
I don't know. Hopefully, Sarah will give us an idea here this next
Yeah,
book. Now, the
yeah.
other thing they said now is Azriel and Elaine are secretly mated. This is the counter theory. They shared in the bonus chapter of Court of Silver Flames, fulfilled the longing and the tension. Some believe the cauldron paired Elaine wrong, and Azriel is her true mate. But I don't think the cauldron pairs anybody wrong. That's my opinion. I don't think it was like, I'm going to just hook you up with Lucian for no
Yeah, I
reason.
remember one of them says like the mating bond it means that they're equal, but that doesn't necessarily mean that they're right for each other.
Yeah, because Tamlin
So,
said his mom and dad, I don't think they were truly right for
right
each
for
other,
each other. Yeah.
but they were together.
Yeah. So, even if I could see where like maybe they paired Elaine wrong, meaning that she should decline the mating bond if she really feels that strongly that she shouldn't be with Lucian and that Azriel's like her true love. Like, I think we're getting true love and true mate confused, you know?
Yeah, it could be. Well, they said the bond is possibly forbidden or suppressed due to political consequences, because I think it would cause a lot of problems. Because think, if Elaine says, no, Lucian, I don't want you, and then he ends up healing and dies, he ends up being the High Lord of the Day Court. That could cause a lot of political problems, because if he's the High Lord and there all that stuff's going on, it could cause a lot of
Yeah.
problems. I mean, it is possible. Now, this is interesting. They said Azriel has a hidden lineage or powers, because we really don't, again, we don't know much about Azriel. We know, I believe his mother was Illyrian, his mom, but because wasn't he, I don't remember.
So I don't remember about his mom, but I remember that his dad and brothers. So this is where I think maybe, or maybe like mom had him like cheated on dad. And so he had like half brothers because they were brutal to him. And that's where his scars on his hand
Yeah.
came from, were like them torturing him.
Well, they said he may be descended from a forbidden or a long forgotten Fey line or a cosmic entity. Shadows are sentient, possibly linked to Hell or the Asteri. The siphons and stealth suggest more than Illyrian heritage. So he's more than what he presents himself. Now,
Yeah.
this is where the parenting origin comes from. It's unknown or mysterious parentage. Azrael's parents are never revealed. We don't know anything about them, but some fans speculate he may be of a royal or noble blood, possibly even linked to other courts. Orphaned and traumatized past, we know that Azriel was enslaved and abused as a child. Fans theorize that he may have hidden siblings or surviving family somewhere out in the world there. Now, also, some believe that his shadow powers hint at a rare Fey bloodline, perhaps linked to the Night Court ancestors or ancient magic. Now, this one here, I didn't even think about it until I read this. Do you remember when Azriel went to Rose Hall?
I don't even remember where Rose Hall was.
This is in Frost and Starlight. It's in the Christmas one.
Okay. But what is Rose Hall?
I don't really know what
Is it
exactly Rose
is
Hall
it
is. It's someplace he went. No, it's a place.
Okay.
It's because he was researching stuff.
Okay.
It says, in a deep dive in one of ACOTAR's most mysterious moments, Azriel's quiet mention of visiting Rose Hall and a court of Frost and Starlight has sparked intense speculation amongst fans. Though the scene is brief, it's loaded with emotional subtext and unanswered questions. And here's what we know and what people believe.
Okay.
The scene is, after the winter solstice celebration, Azriel tells Rhysand he's heading to Rose Hall. Rhysand responds, buy her something from me, will you? And put it on my account this time. Azriel nods, but the moment is left hanging. No name is given, no details are offered, just a quiet departure. So the theory is it possible that Azriel was going to visit his mother? Many fans believe that Azriel was visiting her, who may live in Rose Hall. And this is why the theory holds weight. The emotional tone. Rhysand's comment, buy her something from me. It feels intimate and familiar. It suggests a woman both Rhys and Azriel care about. Azriel's reaction. He doesn't argue or explain. He just simply nods, which implies a personal or possible painful connection. The Cassian's hint, in A Court of Silver Flames, Cassian mentions that Azriel's mother is still alive, unlike his own. This confirms she exists somewhere, and Rose Hall could be her home. But I don't know what Rose Hall is.
Yeah.
It says, if Azriel was visiting his mother, it adds a layer of quiet heartbreak to his character. He grew up in a dungeon, tortured by his half-brothers, and separated from his mother. A visit to her now would be steeped in guilt, grief, and longing. And it also reinforces Azriel's core traits: loyalty, secrecy, and emotional depth. He doesn't flaunt his pain, he carries it in silence. But isn't that interesting?
Yeah. And then also remember when Azriel, like, I find it interesting that he is, like, how he tortures, like people, and I think I remember Rhys saying that, like, Azriel almost gets, like, a weird satisfaction from it, probably because of his own trauma of being, like, tortured as a kid,
It's very
and
possible.
that's where I can see that maybe that he might be a freak in the upcoming books. Like, there might be some, I don't know if it's gonna be, like, dark romance with, like, pain stuff.
It could be.
Yeah, we'll see.
Maybe like some wax poured on him and things. And some
Yeah.
whips and chains. Azriel.
A little, woo!
Oh, he's delicious. Again, if you have not seen the artwork or fan art that people have made, check out our friend Twisted Dreamland. She has made some wonderful, absolutely amazing pictures of him. Oh, yeah. Well, actually, all of them, but his is even more, his are really good.
Yes.
But I do think that's interesting because, a lot of people, they, scoff at the little Christmas novella. But look at that little detail.
Yeah.
Did people, because I didn't remember it.
I don't
And I
either.
never hear anybody ever talking about it.
Yeah, that's one I'm definitely looking forward to revisiting again.
You're getting closer to it. You're
Yeah.
you're in book 3.
Yeah.
Now, also, this is alternative theories, even though those are some wild ones. But there's a secret lover or informant. Some speculate that Rose Hall could be a rendezvous point for Azriel's spy work or a hidden romance. But this feels out of character, given his emotional restraint and his lack, of text. There's nothing in the text about it to support that.
Yeah.
Or it's a personal estate or safe house. Rose Hall might be a location tied to his work or his protection network. Still, the emotional tone, though, that Rhys's comment leans more of a personal than a professional thing happening there. Now, Azriel will lead the Illyrian Revolution. This is another theory. Resentful towards Illyrians due to his abusive childhood, fans believe he might lead a reform or a rebellion. And the subplot could be Emery and Balthazar. How do you say his name? Balthazar? Balthazar. Okay. Could deepen the arc. Because remember, that's her cousin, isn't it?
I
Remember
believe
he
so.
won.
Yeah. I could see that happening. I think that here's the hard part with the Illyrians is that there's such a divisive, like, as Rhys and Cassian and Azriel all like hating them, and it surprises me that the Illyrians, I don't know, like the whole Illyrian thing is just confusing to me. Why they're not all on the same page, why they even fight for Rhys if they don't agree with Rhys's views on things.
I don't know. Maybe it's
Yeah.
because they look at him because he's half Fae. And that's why they know he's Illyrian. That's the only reason why he's half Illyrian. That's why they even listen to him. Because if he was over them, maybe just as a full high Fae, they wouldn't have listened to him at all.
Yeah.
It's just because he is part of them. He is Illyrian. Maybe that's the only part. Because all 3 of the boys there, Cassian, Azriel, and Rhys, they're all half Illyrian, at least. I don't know if the other 2 are full Illyrian. There's something with that, but maybe we'll find out more when we find out exactly who is at Rose Hall for Azriel. Maybe it'll give some answers. Let's see here. Now, the other thing is there could be unsolved romantic tension and mysterious powers could make him a prime candidate. It could be he in book 6. Maybe he is going to be the main point of view.
I think so. I hope so. I'm ready. I'm ready for a new couple. Yeah.
Nesta is polarizing. A lot of people are very polarized of Nesta. But I would like another book with her as the main person. I really like Nesta. Because if she continues the series, because I think her character can grow and can change. Because she's not as bad as when you first read about her. She's at the end of Silver Flame, she's not as, crazy as she was. I mean, she's still crazy, but in a different kind of way.
Yeah, I guess because of, like, the Crescent City, like, I feel like I've already gotten another little story about Nesta that's why I'm ready for Elaine. I'm ready for the next part. Yeah.
Well, and they also said with Azriel, like, his shadows are alive and possible sentient. They're not, he can't control them. They're their own kind of thing. The shadows may protect him. They react to emotions. They communicate to him. They may be remnants of ancient magic or tied to other realms. Or this could explain why they behave differently around Elaine and Gwen. Because remember, they back away. They don't like Elaine. And then Gwen, they sing. They're real happy around her.
Yeah, that makes sense too, because you really, like, in any of the wars, and when Hybern does their little test attack on Velaris, they never says that, like, Azriel fights with his shadows. He fights with his siphons, like his blue, that blue power, but it never says anything about him specifically using his shadows.
Because we know his shadows, it's something with when he does his spy work. It's more because he does something.
And kind of like Rhys, how she says that, like, he basically has, like, night around him, like an aura, but it doesn't seem like Rhys controls. I mean, I know that he can blanket them in a shadow, but.
What if Rhys and Azriel are half brothers? Since they both kind of have the shadow thing happening.
Yeah. That'd be cool.
That'd be interesting. But yeah. I don't see, though, Rhys's dad as being violent, and he didn't have any other children. But unless Azriel's half siblings came from his mother.
Huh.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know. I like all the random weird things we think of. But now, those are all the guys of the inner circle. So now let's step into with the ladies of the inner circle, which there's only 2 of them. But the first one we're going to talk about is Mor. I absolutely love Mor. Now, when I was reading the book, I pictured Alexis from Schitt's Creek as Mor. That's how, and that's how I picture Mor. I think if they ever do really get to do the series, I think she would be an excellent Mor.
That's funny.
Every time, that's who I picture in my mind as Mor.
There's one, who I picture for whatever reason. There's the sister in 50 Shades of Grey, whoever they cast as the sister to Christian Grey. For whatever reason, I see her with, like, blonde hair. So she's kind of like tan skin, kind of exotic looking, and then she has this blonde hair.
I only watched the one movie. I don't think I've watched 50 Shades. I watched like a part of it, and it was on TV, so it wasn't, the full shebang.
And I can't even remember if she had blonde hair in the, what is her name? Oh, Rita Ora. I don't know why, but I see her.
Isn't that interesting? But I have a nexus. Now, a lot of people also picture, the girl that played in the Barbie movie. She also was.
Yes, I see her. Margot Robbie.
Yes. And she was also, what's her name from in the Marvel movies? She was, or is that DC? She was. Oh God, what was her name in that one? Harley Quinn.
Okay, yeah. Yes. Suicide Squad.
So
I could see her being Mor too. That's a good one.
But I know a lot of people do that. So our little Mor. So now you have our visuals. I'd love to know that would be something fun. I would love to know how everybody sees them in their mind.
Yeah.
But that's who I see.
Yeah.
Yes.
So we've got Rita Ora, Margot Robbie. Who else did you say?
The girl that plays Alexis from Schitt's Creek, and I don't know her name.
That one. Yeah.
Because she's hilarious.
Yeah, she is. I love her.
She's, and it's funny when you watch Schitt's Creek, because his dad is his dad, and then there's him. And then, what's her name? That's the one that has the diner. That's his sister in real life.
Yeah.
And she played that part and wasn't his sister on the show. And I just love it. That's one of the best shows if you haven't watched it.
Is his sister. Is his actual sister, yeah. Okay, Annie Murphy. That's who Alexis is. Annie Murphy.
Okay. Yeah. She's amazing. I just actually watched her and she was not like a funny character in 9 Perfect Strangers. It's on Hulu with Nicole Kidman. It was season 2 of it, and she's in that one. And she's not like how she's in Schitt's Creek. She's a much more serious character, but she is very good. She's a very good actress. I like her.
That's a good one.
Now, this is what we have discovered about Mor, or what people, again, these are people's theories. Mor is secretly mated to Emery. The theory has gained. Now, theories have gained traction after A Court of Silver Flames. The subtle chemistry, the mutual respect, the mate bond hasn't snapped due to emotional guard, or maybe it's a magic block.
Or even, because Mor hasn't come out yet. So that
only
could
to
be,
Feyre.
Yeah.
So that could be a very powerful, love story between them. So I don't know. That would be amazing though, because it kind of, I don't know. We'll see. So there's that. Now, if that does, she does deserve happiness because she has had some really bad things happen to her.
Yeah.
So, and also Emery has had some bad things happen to her. So maybe their pain will come together and they'll have a beautiful love story.
Yeah.
Now, this is about Mor here. Now, what if she is a descendant of a forgotten god, a cosmic entity, or witch? It says now, of course, the title, because now Mor is Morrigan. If you know, I believe it's Scottish folklore. It's either Scottish or Irish. There's the Morrigan. Oh, it's from Celtic mythology. She's there at the battlefield. If I remember correctly how the Celtic myth goes, whatever side that she sides with is the side that will win. So if they know that she is favoring this one, the other one is already lost. The Morrigan's very powerful. So now is
so
she
it says in the Celtic mythology, Irish Celtic mythology, the Morrigan incites war, manipulates the emotions of warriors, and appears on battlefields to foretell death and determine the outcome of battles.
Now remember, Rhys said he has to be losing the war, and Azriel and Cassian both have to be dead before he sends her in. So what does that mean? If you're sending her in, because he knows that she will finish it.
Now, to me, I like the witch theory, again, of Morrigan, or of Mor being a witch, along with Nesta, that she could do the yielding, and that's why she would come in last. Which
Well,
from
is
the
that
Throne
when
of
you
Glass,
said that?
from
Oh,
yes.
that's the thing where you said where they go and they implode. Okay.
Yeah.
Because they're saying that she could be the Cassian witch, which is the multiverse connection there, linked to magic outside of Prythian, the power over truths and illusions. That could be divine or interrealm origins. And that could tie her also, they said, to the Asteri or Hell in Crescent City. Do you think she could be tied to those?
Yeah. The thing is, though, that now this is a fan saying this, so I'm going to have to double check. But like for Throne of Glass, it says the yielding is a type of magic exclusive to the Iron Teeth witches, and that it's only a piece of magic an Iron Teeth witch can use. But I don't remember. I guess because the 13 in Throne of Glass, they go against all the other witches, like they kind of break off and do their own thing. So maybe that's why the other Iron Teeth witches are the ones that use the witch towers.
I don't know.
But anyways, yeah, I think Mor is a witch.
Well, they said that she could be hiding a dark past. Now, her trauma, the Court of Nightmares, may have included magical manipulation or prophecy, bargain or sacrifice affecting choices, reluctance to share her story hints to deeper layers because she doesn't really talk about anything. She could also possibly be a double agent secretly to protect the Night Court. She might be doing unseen missions, secret tasks for Prythian, maybe debts she's paying off from past wars. Her family ruled Prythian before Prythian existed, and the Night Court ruled the North. People in the prison remember those times, because remember, the prison's part of all this. And then it comes into Mor's father, and of course, Eris's father, Baron, and they arranged a match when she was 17. Mor slept with Cassian to make herself unfit. Her father punished her and nailed a note to her body and dumped her in Autumn Court border. Eris found her but refused to help, and Rhysand later rescued her and brought her to the Illyrian war camps.
Yeah.
How did Rhys know where she was? Because I wonder that. I mean, maybe because they are related somehow. Because we do know their relation of some kind.
I don't remember if it was Rhys that found her or Azriel, because I thought it was maybe even Azriel that found her. Also, I remember there being a comment that Eris makes, like, basically taunting Mor, like, have you told them the whole story yet? Or saying that, like, we don't know the whole story between the two of them. And I wonder
he makes the comment with Cassian when they're at the Spring Court, because he can't say anymore, and he tells him basically, you have to ask her of what's happening.
Well, and part of me wonders, is it just because she's queer and that's what he's referring to as far as like her, about
It could be.
not everybody knowing the full story, and maybe he's not the villain that they all
I
make
don't
him out
think
to be.
I don't think Eris is as bad as they do say he is. I think he has had a lot of horrible things happen to him because Baron isn't exactly, father of the year. And I think he is. If he was willing to kill Lucian's love, that he had, who knows what he has done to Eris. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But now they were saying that Mor and Azriel were never meant to be because they always say that, he was always pining after her. I don't think he's pining after her, but
No.
she's kept him at arm's length to protect him, or
Yeah.
it's a magical curse, they said. It overlaps with speculation about Azriel's true mate.
Yeah. And there's that part, how Feyre is like so interested in the three of them. Like, have
Oh,
you
yes.
guys ever? Have you ever? Oh, was there ever a time? And
Yep.
Mor says that, like, even if Azriel was like into her, he would never make a move because he doesn't feel like he deserves somebody like her because he's bastard born. And so, yeah, I don't think she's his mate.
I don't think so either.
Yeah.
But they were like, he's been pining after her for 500 years. I think it's more, I think he does love her, because I think they all love each other because of their friendships and stuff. But I don't think it's that he wants to be with her.
Yeah.
I think there's something a little different.
If anything, I think Rhys only made a comment about, or Mor did, saying that like Cassian was pissed that they only did it the one time, or they only had sex the one time. And then she was kind of like, I'm good. And it pissed Cassian off. But even then, he's like moved on. I don't really think there is a pining.
Well, Eris does make the statement because Cassian refers to her as his sister in that conversation. And he said, oh, I didn't know you were into sleeping with your sister. And he's like, it's different now. Oh, but now they said now it is possible. Maybe the next book will be Mor's point of view, exploring her sexuality, her night court role, mysterious powers that she has. It could give us an insight into Velaris's politics. Of course, there's Hewn City, the Illyrian camps. This may play a key role against Koshi or the Asteri, if that is going to come as a crossover.
Yeah.
So she could be the main character in the next book.
I didn't even consider that as a thing, and I love it. I hope she gets her own story because there's so much to her that we need to uncover.
Well, you got to remember, Sarah was very intentional at the end of A Court of Frost and Starlight. Remember that Mor was up in her secret estate that nobody talks about, that something in the shadowy thing was watching her. We figured it was Baraxis, but we don't know for sure.
Yeah.
We don't know, but something was watching her. And then why does she have a secret estate? There's a lot. So maybe that was putting that little glimpse for us in that book. Yeah. Maybe it's going to foreshadow, and maybe she will be the main character in the next book.
Was that, and remind me, that was in Silver Flames? Did you say that? Or was it, or was that
Christmas
ACOTAR?
one?
It was in the
Starlight. Frost and Starlight.
Okay.
It's at the end of that one.
Okay.
So it's interesting.
That is
so I don't know.
Thought. Yeah.
Now she could also be key to her power of truth and illusions could be tied to the gates between the worlds. She could also help Bryce and Rune navigate the realms. Or she also might have an ancient title or aura. She could be a prime candidate for the cosmic crossover.
Yeah.
So
I like it.
I don't know. So maybe Mor will be our leading lady next time. It'd be something unexpected.
Yeah, like I really liked our hiding her dark past. And like, I know a lot of people, I think kind of what we went over though, is that she protects like the night court and all that. But there are people that think that she's going to end up being a villain and betraying the night court.
It's possible.
And that's why Azriel keeps such a close eye on her.
Because
so remember, I have seen that theory. Yeah.
He shadows, maybe it was his shadows that was watching her up at that estate as well.
Yeah.
There's something to it. Sarah's very intentional. Anything she writes, there's, like she said, she leaves Easter eggs in amongst the book. So,
and this is where all of this comes from.
Yes. Oh my goodness. Now then, so that's Mor. So now let's talk about the last one that is super mysterious. And I love her dearly because I love how snarky she is. It's Amren. I absolutely love her. She's so dark. She's so, I don't know. I just like her personality. I just like how she's very sharp-tongued. It's different than how Nesta is sharp-tongued. Nesta's kind of just mean in her sharp tongue. Amren's mean too, but it's just different. I like Amren.
Amren's more like blunt, like
blunt. Yes.
She's more blunt. So yeah.
But now Amren is a creature from Hell or Asteri realm. That is the new theory. Now, because remember, she's not from Prythian. We do know that because she talks about it. The origin forms similar to Hell or Asteri beings. The hunger for power and blood mirrors Asteri, so I'm assuming they drink blood.
I don't remember that being said in Crescent City, but I could see that. I could see it being true.
It says she was possibly banished from another realm, not just like she fell through a rift or something. They actually banished her to Prythian because remember, she was in the prison.
Yeah.
Why was she in the prison?
But I think they trapped her there. And I can see like with the Asteri, because the Asteri are all kind of on the same page where they're all POSs. So I can see like Amren going against them and then them banishing her because she wasn't on board with them.
Interesting. Now, they said now also she could be a bonded soul theory. Some fans believe that Amren was imprisoned in a mortal Fey body as part of a bargain or a punishment. Because remember, she said she's not male, she's not female, but she said she liked the female form because she took that female form that she has, and that's how she escaped the prison, because it didn't recognize her. So obviously someone looked like Amren and she took over their body. So would she have had to have killed them to take over that body?
Nobody knows. Yeah, that's an interesting thought. Yeah.
Now they said also it could be ancient power source. Or she could shift the Prythian magic. They said she could have hidden vulnerabilities, which could be in the prophecy, magic, or enemy knowledge. She could also be there for political manipulation. She can influence alliances, wars, and court hierarchies. Because you do know she's right there with Rhysand, and she's in his ear, telling him things.
Yeah.
So that's possible. He said her origin, of course, like we were saying, is a mystery. That we know she's from an extinct magical race, the ancient war beyond Prythian. They said that she is probably at least 15,000 years old or possibly older. We knew she was old, but that's super old. But we know she wasn't originally High Fae, but she was trapped in a High Fae body after her prison escape. So again, how did she get in that body?
Yeah.
But she's been in Prythian for a millennia before the courts and the humans. So she was there 1,000 years before there were people. What was she doing? So she has a lot of power and knowledge of ancient. Well, she's powerful and she's knowledgeable, and even the High Lords, they're kind of afraid of Amren.
Yeah.
She's kind of dark and a little spooky.
Yeah.
But they said now this is a possibility. Now remember, they said that all of her people are extinct, or where she came from. But they said maybe there will be a thing that there is at least one more. And that could be a possible reunion or resurrection arc for her. That it will be her people.
Yeah.
Maybe one of her kind comes for her.
Well, and that's one of the things that Rhys wanted the Book of Breathings for, was so that it could release her from this body that she's bound in and this world that she's bound in. He was looking for a way to release her. So it's interesting to think what is out there that she's trying to get back to. Is she like the Bone Carver, where she just is done existing and wants to know about death? Or is there some realm that she belongs to that she's trying to get back to?
Well, they said also now she will regain her true form. Now, we know when she went into the cauldron, she released her whatever she was, remember, and she helped finish the war, because that's why Amren went into the cauldron. But when she came out as High Fae. But could she reclaim her powers? Because she doesn't have those specific, or she says she doesn't have those powers anymore. But could she reclaim those powers via the Death Trove artifacts or interrealm magic? Because remember, she was very interested in the death trove.
Yeah.
Now, Amren knows more than she lets on. This is the other theory. Could she be possibly a cosmic chess master because she's moving all the pieces on the board to do her own bidding? Or is she doing it to protect a group from the truths they aren't ready for? Or is it possibly guiding Feyre and Rhysand towards a larger destiny? Now, and then, of course, now remember she's with is it Varin?
Varian? I say
Varian?
Varian.
I think I said Varin. Varian. We'll go with Varian. Because again, I mispronounce everything. Now, her relationship with him may be a distraction. This could be covered to cover deeper motives that she has going on, or it could be genuine, and it might be a glimpse of vulnerability for her.
Yeah.
Do you think she truly loves him?
I think she does, and I like Amren getting, like, because it seems like she really hasn't had a love interest, or at least she hasn't made any mention of having a love interest in her 15,000 years, or however long she's been alive or existed. You remember when he sends her the necklace to soften the blow of the blood rubies, and it's over on her nightstand, and she probably fell asleep looking at it. So I think she does. I think she has a thing for him.
I think it'll be cute. We'll see.
Yeah.
We'll see what happens with him. But I do like that she did find somebody, or she had a moment of like a little bit of a relationship kind of thing, because she's so very like you said, blunt, and she's very hardened, so it's kind of nice to see the softer side of her, I guess.
Yeah. Her not wearing the pants all the time. Yeah.
Yes. Now they also said now she could also be the bridge between the realms. She could be linked to Bryce and Crescent City, and she may help characters cross realms or unlock hidden truths. So I don't know.
Yeah, I think it'd be cool too if Amren could basically make a rip in the world to get them to other realms. I think that'd be cool.
Do you think she's a world walker? Because we know she fell through a rift is how she got there. Yeah. Is she a true world walker?
I think that she was at one time, and then once she was bound into this body, that maybe she lost touch of that. And also interesting when she's reintroducing herself to the holy language, or that ancient language of the Book of Breathings, because remember, she almost forgot about it. And so I think that there are going to be times when I think when Amren fell through, that she is getting glimpse of her past self. She
so
can't
she
hold all that knowledge.
Herself.
Yeah.
Well,
I don't think she has all the knowledge.
Well, she said when she went into the cauldron and she released and went into her true form, that she would not remember any of them. She wouldn't remember Feyre, any of them. But when she came out of the cauldron, she knew them. Because so she was able to bring it back together again, kind of deal. Yeah. I don't know. I find it very, very interesting. I think there's a lot more to know about her. Now, one little tidbit I did see, though. Now, remember, she's 15,000 years old. She said the king of Hybern is even more ancient. So how old is he?
The king of Hybern is even more ancient than she is?
I seen a thing, because our next episode, we're going to be talking about the villains of Prythian. And I believe she makes mention that he's even older than her, more ancient.
Wow.
So she's 15,000. Now, and remember, she was there before all the people in the court. So if she's 15,000 years, and we know she was 1,000 years, well, I don't even know. You'll have to see if you find it, how many years she was in the prison.
Or how long she's been out of the prison.
Oh, yeah, because that could be that too. Yeah. Because it seems like that prison is very, very ancient. And I think that the prison might be older than the night court. I think it's just there. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I don't know. I think it's interesting. I think this has been a very interesting episode.
Yeah.
Because there's a lot of very interesting theories that people have, come up with. But I think out of all of them, right now is the one with Azriel. With, what did I say? That was Rose. What did I say?
Rose Hill?
Rose Hill?
I'm going back. I'm trying to find it. Rose Hall.
Rose Hall. Yes.
Yeah.
I think that one is the most interesting out of all of them, because that was something that I didn't even think about, and I hadn't thought about, because so many things in the Christmas one people dismiss or you just don't think about it.
Yeah, we kind of just
people consider it a
glossed over.
Christmas.
Yeah.
Yes. So maybe some of the most interesting Easter eggs are hidden within that book.
Yeah. We're going to be circling back to all the things when we find more evidence, and I want people to tell us what their thoughts are. Bring us your thoughts, bring us sites from the book, like where it was said, so that we can.
Oh yeah, because if we can have the chapter and that kind of thing, because like I said, I haven't read it. Chelsea's re-listening to the whole thing.
And the problem with that is I can't say what the chapters are because I'm listening, but I'm trying to write down, like when I come across stuff, I'm trying to write down like what's happening at that time so that it makes sense. So we can say, okay, when this happened, I can tell you that this was said.
But like I said, Sarah, she's put Easter eggs. She said she's so excited when people find the little Easter eggs and the things that tie stuff together. So I think there's something more there to Azriel there, whoever this mysterious woman was. But like, as Rhys said, please, buy her something and, charge it to me. So he obviously has a deep connection with whoever this is. And it wasn't going more. It's not more. It's not that, unless that's what her mysterious place is. Maybe the place, her estate, maybe it's Rose Hall.
Yeah.
Because I don't remember if because I think she was there with them during Christmas. I don't think she was. I don't know. We'll have to pay attention. I don't know. I think it's interesting. Now our next episode, when we get together, we're going to be talking about, since we are in the month of October, and it is Halloween time, so why not talk about the villains of Prythian?
Yes.
So we'll be talking about all the bad people and the ones that we dislike. And I think it'll be a super fun episode.
Yes.
So that is us diving into the Night Court's inner circle, their powers, their personality, and fan theories that make them even more mysterious.
Don't forget to tag us at 2 Girls 1 TBR or slide into our DMs, our comments with your thoughts on Rhysand, Cassian, Azriel Mor, and Amren, our inner circle. We want to know your fan theories and your take on the ones that we mentioned today.
Absolutely. Remember, subscribe to us on Spotify, iHeartRadio, YouTube. Leave us a review so we can keep the chaos coming. So remember, keep your books filthy and your TBR unhinged. Good night, book babe.
Good night.